expect to go to a servo again. Huh. What's going on here? Cheap fuel. A bit of a close call here. 40 kilometers left on the GOM only. I have to fill up a little bit. Just $20 for the 3 days. That should be fine. There's a line up of cars at the charger here. Ha 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 ha. So $18 gives me 240 kilometers. You can barely see the mountains in the distance here. This is all smoke from the bushfires in this area here. Very scary shit. For some reason I cannot reset the average consumption in this car here. I found this button up here, which seems to be the reset button for the trip meters and consumption meters and everything, but it doesn't work. So we only have the current consumption here now. 6.3 liters at about 100 kilometers per hour, which is probably only 90 in this car here. But we've got about 30 kilometers of headwind at the moment, very strong headwind from the west, which doesn't help these firefighters either. Makes the situation even worse. 6.4. $5.5 now. So probably very similar consumption to my wife's Kia. Between, let's say, around 6 liters per 100 kilometers on motorways. Pretty high consumption for such a small car. Car is gone, and now I can see it. I had this yesterday on the highway as well. It eats a whole truck. The truck just disappears in the mirror and you can't see it anymore. Even if you turn your head a little bit to the right and look into the mirror, the truck is just gone. And then it appears here in your view angle. The blind spot is huge. It's huge. There's no warning indicator, nothing here. Base model. These mirrors are terrible. Mazda 2.
The next day.
So this morning we don't have any wind, any headwind here. 100 kilometers per hour, exactly 5 liters instant consumption of the vehicle. Well, there's not much to test in this car. This is the very base version here. It has no navigation, no actual dashboard apart from the media display here, radio, CD. It has a CD player, right. CD player, Bluetooth, and that's pretty much it. So not much to test in here. Very basic interior, but nice to drive. It's an automatic, not fast at all, but it brings me from A to B. So I'm grateful they lent me this car. And the Drive Accidental Solution, Drive Solutions Accident Drive, the company where the car is, rang me yesterday and asked me to disable valet mode in the Teslander because they are trying. They wanted to open the frunk, and you can't do this when valet mode is enabled in the car. It locks it. So I went on the app and disabled valet mode, and also popped the frunk for them. And now I can see on the app that the frunk is constantly open. So I think they took it off maybe to repaint it. But they said Tesla has approved all the fixes, all the repairs now. So everything is good and goes ahead just nicely. And we will go and pick it up again tomorrow. And I watched later on the app, you could actually see doors are opening and closing. So very funny to watch. We still have 235 kilometers or something in the battery, so plenty of juice. Someone mentioned this recently on one of my videos and said it's not good if you have no buttons in the car. It's not good if you are clustered with buttons as well. And I think he's right. What I really enjoy on this car is that you can adjust the vent openings differently on both sides. So one can blow a little bit lower and this one can blow a little bit higher. And you cannot certainly adjust this in the Model 3. It always blows in the same level direction because of the design. And I also cannot turn off the passenger side completely. So if my wife, for example, doesn't like the air condition to be on, she can only adjust the temperature but not the fan speed, or cannot even shut her side completely off. It's not possible in the Model 3, but it is in here. Yeah, so after having driven the Model 3 for a couple of weeks now, I totally agree with that. Going totally buttonless is probably not the best option. It's nice in most cases, but certainly not ideal. Not as ideal as have some buttons, some very important buttons in the car.
Traditional owners in co-managing this landscape, and through that.
Hey guys, I'm just driving this company car here, and people are really listening still to AM. It is true. Okay, this is the Nissan X-Trail 2019 version diesel automatic. I think the aircon turns off as well. It's getting already warm in here. Yeah, the aircon turns definitely off when the car stops at the traffic light. Right. Okay, here we go. I'll just push the accelerator as hard as I can. Full throttle. There we go. So this is good 2.5-3 seconds, and I almost crashed the car twice while being on an intersection and crossing the lane. The car didn't want to go. I pushed it all the way through and it made this roaring sound, and that was it. It didn't want to accelerate. This is just the most disgusting car ever, really. It's a brand new car and no acceleration at all. Nothing. Again, driving 40, now accelerating, nothing. Here it goes. The delay is insane. That's really dangerous. Nissan, you should concentrate on putting more leaves on the road than building this crap. 7.8 liters in average here for this car. Well, even the PHEV was far better than 7.8. Well, yeah, that's it. It totally lacks power, acceleration. I don't know, why would you buy such a vehicle here? Why would you do that? Yeah, well guys, this is a bit of a strange experience with this diesel, with this Nissan X-Trail diesel. It is very unresponsive on the gas pedal and also very delayed. So once you press the gas, it takes a few seconds to actually move the car along. And this is, in my eyes, this could be potentially dangerous, really. And I had this twice when I crossed the lane actually, and the car didn't want to move as quickly as I was expecting it. We've got the same model as a petrol car as well, and this one is much more responsive and it drives normally, so when you step on the gas it actually moves. But the diesel is just insane. And then this start-stop automatic they have put into these cars now, just to meet the regulations in Europe. Basically they're trying to reduce emissions, of course, and this is one way to do it. If you turn off the engine altogether on a traffic light, for example, but on the other hand it turns off your air conditioner as well, which is totally insane, right? I mean, this is like driving all these cars now and coming from a Model 3, you know. It seems like this is old technology. It puts you back 10 years. It seems like you're just not used to this anymore. And especially this one, the car turns off on the traffic light, which is totally fine. Probably not the they are doing this anyway. I mean, they have to reduce their overall fleet emissions, and well, the engine does not get more efficient anymore, you know. This is basically as efficient as it can get. They are trying for years to reduce emissions and reduce and improve economy on these cars. This is probably as low as they can get the fuel consumption of combustion engines. And now they have to try other methods and other tricks to reduce emissions further and to improve economy. And to turn off the engine, of course, is one of the things you could do. But then the air condition turns off, you know. Again, this is like you're sitting here for 2 minutes on a traffic light and it gets super hot inside because the aircon turns off. We had, as a company car, we had a Toyota Camry hybrid here a while back. It was not a plug-in hybrid. This is not available here in Australia. It was just a normal hybrid car with a tiny, I think it's only a 1 kilowatt hour battery or something. But this one, when you turn it off, the air condition kept running from the battery, so the compressor was already electric. But in these cars here, there's no battery obviously, and the compressor for the air condition is mounted on the engine. If the engine stops, the compressor stops, it gets hot. So this is all does not make much sense, you know. It's just people will eventually turn off this start-stop automatic. They don't save on fuel, they don't save on emissions anymore, just because they want to keep the air condition running while they are waiting on a traffic light, which is understandable. So, well, and then we have the Mazda 2 as a loan vehicle. I cannot do much testing on it. It is just yesterday and today actually, and I have to get it back tomorrow. So the fuel economy is like expected. Not much I can test out in it. It drives me, it brings me from A to B. The acceleration is medium to low, I would say, but it's totally fine. It does the trick, right? So the verdict is, once you drive full electric, once you drive a Model 3 or any other electric vehicle, it is very hard to go back to a combustion engine car and live with all these flaws, all these. It is a step back in time. It feels really like this, really. So I'm really looking forward to pick up the Teslander again tomorrow, and hopefully they can fix all the issues, all the problems. I can still see the doors opening and closing all the time, so obviously they are working on it. The battery is going down all the time, so I hope it is still 180 kilometers or so, totally enough to get me home, of course. So I'm really looking forward to pick up the car tomorrow again. This will be a totally different experience again, driving full electric car again. It will be so smooth with acceleration. Okay guys, so far this little verdict for the last 1 or 2 days. Crazy windy today again. As always guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. This is Andy from Unplugged TV Australia, signing off. You stay charged, and we will see us again in the next video very soon. Thanks for watching guys, see you then, bye bye.